At the very same time that America refused to give the Negro any land, through an act of Congress, our government was giving millions of acres of land in the West and the Midwest, which meant that it was willing to undergird its white peasants from Europe with an economic floor. But not only did they give the land, they built land-grant colleges with government money to teach them how to farm. Not only that, they provided county agents to further their expertise in farming. Not only that, they provided low interest rates in order that they could mechanize their farms. Not only that, today many of these people are receiving millions of dollars in federal subsidies not to farm, and they are the very people telling the black man that he ought to lift himself by his own bootstraps.
Here we are, people. Welcome to another great episode of Hashtag Observations TFR. Hashtag Observations TFR. It is yours truly, Crazy D, with my special guest host, my sister, Tanya M. Congress. How are you feeling this morning? How are you feeling this morning?
I'm doing well this morning, sir. In these crazy times we're in, we have to do all this extra stuff, incorporate all this extra stuff in our day to get the day started. So you and Tracey had introduced me to this contraption called a Navage that flushes up through your nasal cavity. Then you flip it over, it does one side, then it does the other. So it gets all that mucus and all of that stuff that's trapped up here between the ear, nose, and throat. It gets it all out. Phone ringing. It always wants to ring when I'm doing something. So yeah, I had to do that, and then I had to gargle. We understand that a lot of this viral stuff is in the air, and I can't even open my door to put the trash out or get a package, take in a package without feeling some type of way when I come in and close the door. So I start having to put on a mask to open the door to go outside, but you still, I developed this cough just sitting in the house. I don't really go anywhere. So I'm sitting in the house and developing this cough. And so I have to gargle with the pink Himalayan salt and distilled water. And so that's another pain in the behind. But this is the times that we're in. So we have to make sure we keep ourselves healthy. That being said, I have my usual bowl of fruit. I have sliced oranges and gala apples. I have a bowl of ginger. I have, now this right here is tart cherry juice with turmeric, what else? Hawthorn berry, and hibiscus flower. So what this does, all of this, so the turmeric and the tart cherry, if you are suffering with things or challenged with things with like joint pain, arthritis, gout, or whatever like that, the tart cherry juice and the turmeric deals with that. I do this daily so that I don't have to deal with those things. It's preventative, right? And if you already have something going on, by the end of the day, you drink something like this, it's all gone. The hibiscus flower and the hawthorn berry is for if you're dealing with water retention. This is a natural diuretic, so that you don't have to now. Like I said, we are not medical professionals on this channel. We just share our experiences. If you are suffering from acute edema, that's where you are swollen in your legs and feet for prolonged periods of time, you're going to want to go see a doctor, because that may be indicative of several different things, kidney disease and congestive heart failure being the main two. So you need to go see about that. And if they prescribe hydrochlorothiazide, spironolactone or aldactone, or furosemide, otherwise known as Lasix, those are things that you can wean yourself off of, but you do not, if you're taking those medications, you do not want to cut those cold turkey to do what I just said, right? You're going to want to incorporate this in with what you're already doing. And when you go back to test and take tests and then they tell you, oh, you're improving in this area, then you can begin to wean yourself off of those medications, okay? We want to exercise wisdom in what we do. But I'm ready to get started today.
Yes. You know, as you know, this is Tasty Tuesday. And we're going to be talking about vegan recipes. And you know, the question of the day, hopefully is still up on the phone. Yes, it is. The question for the day is, what was the first all-vegan meal you tried, which made you begin to cut meat, poultry, and fish from your eating habit? Or what's holding you back from going vegan? Answer the question, and we'll most definitely read your answer over this morning's broadcast going on right now, right? So listen, also, as I was telling Tanya yesterday, you know, houses are porous. And what I mean by that is they have to let air in and out. You know, like how they say, well, you have those old windows and it's letting in the draft. Well, at a certain point, you have to have a certain amount of air coming into the house, even with all the doors closed and all that, because if not, you would suffocate because there wouldn't be any oxygen coming in, right? And it wouldn't be any place for the CO2 to escape. So of course,
Right.
when you're sitting in your home and you feel like you're coming down with something and you need to gargle or you need to flush out your nose, you know, two of the things that were given to us by Pharaoh said that on episode 108 of hashtag TFR Podcast Live. When you catch that, it's because of the fact that air has to flow in and out, so you're not really necessarily safe being closed in, because if your house was actually airtight, you would suffocate because there wouldn't be oxygen coming in, and it would be a lot of CO2, and the CO2 has to escape. Especially if you're going to the toilet, the CO2 has to escape. Smash the share button, smash the like button, because we're getting ready to take another journey, go someplace again today. So without further ado, let's get to what we do to warm everything up, and that is the memes, right? Let's see what memes are out there that are interesting to the view, I'll say, to the view of people, right? So this one I thought was very interesting, so let's get started with it first. Okay, so here we go. You made a plan and it failed. Who cares? Try again, right? Got in a relationship and it failed. Who cares? Try again. Lost money trying something new? Who cares? Try again. Fell off your gym routine? Who cares? Try again. Gained back the weight you lost? Who cares? Try again, right? So, it's not the amount of failures you have, but the amount of victories that you have over time, right? So, if things happen, who cares? Try and try again. Smash the share button, smash the like button. We are going places, all right? We are taking this to a place today. Let's go to the next, as they're trying to clip us already. I can't believe it. We just asked something, right? We just came up with the meme. Okay, let me move this over a little bit so that you can see it. Okay, let's go right here. Now, it says Pfizer's new COVID-19 vaccine prevents 90% of infections. That's what this says right here. I want to shout out to everyone who is, I want to drop out to everyone who is watching us on YouTube right now and on Facebook. Listen, Pfizer's new COVID-19 vaccine prevents 90% of infections, right? But when you read further, and see if I can move out the way so that you can see what it says. But it says 40 years worth of research, no vaccine for HIV. Let's just let that sit. Just let that sit. Just let that sit for a minute. 40 years of research, no vaccine for HIV. Now, we talked about this one on yesterday's show, and you have to go back and pick that up when we talked about Rockefeller and cancer and petroleum and the pharmaceuticals. You have to go back and check that because we were dropping information. At least 100 years research, no vaccine for cancer. The American Cancer Society, always collecting to solve cancer, and you would think one day, but what happens? New generations come. And so when the new generations come, the older generation often neglects to tell the younger generation because it was something that was already in process when they got there. So they don't say, this has been going on since such, and I'm near 50, or I'm 60, I'm 70, I'm 80, and they have not come up with this cancer cure, and I'm damn near 100, and I was here basically as a kid when they were talking about the cancer everything, the cancer scandal with that, and nothing but ongoing research. No vaccine for the common cold. No vaccine for the common cold. This was an interesting meme. Smash the share button, smash the like button, because as we talk about vegan recipes today, we're also talking about why you need to get more into vegan eating, right? Good morning to Stu. Good morning to Stu. I see Stu is watching. Thanks for tuning in. What you got to say, Tanya?
So this Pfizer's new COVID-19 vaccine prevents 90% of infections. Is this the same vaccine or supposed preventative agent that they tested on the rats that died? Is this the same one or is this a different one? Because I'm getting conflicting messages between all of these memes. Who put out this report? This was internet uh, something engineering.com. So, okay, so this one, okay, so if it cures 90%, where is the data of the people who have been cured? What's the new count on the people who have been cured? Because remember, we had noticed that that number was conveniently left out or not counted as much as deaths, the death toll last year. So people, we need for you to pay attention and see the interesting comedy of these numbers and the things that they put before us. You're not going to be able to piss on our head and tell us it's raining, okay? You're not going to be able to do that because we're looking at stuff and we're hearing different stuff, and the numbers are not adding up, and it's looking more and more ridiculous the more and more they talk. They would be better off just not saying nothing and saying, if you want to save your life, come get the vaccine, not giving any, because, 9 chances out of 10, the people who walk in fear, they're just going to go get it anyway. So you really don't even have to do all that work, putting out lying data and false data. But what do you think? Do you think this is the same vaccine that killed the rats?
Is it the same vaccine? Besides killing the rats, is it the same vaccine that's... Okay, we're going to get to that because, they're going to clip us. Okay, well, I see that Miss Ash has come in. I want to say hello to Miss Ash. What's up to Trace watching us on YouTube right now. Everybody was watching us on YouTube. This is the question of the day, right? And write in your answers and we will read them over the air. What was the first all-vegan meal you tried which made you begin to cut meat, poultry, and fish from your eating habits? Or what's holding you back from going vegan? So feel free to answer that and we will bring those answers. So look, let's continue with this meme because this meme is interesting because Lee Morton is underneath responding to the Pfizer's new COVID-19 vaccine prevents 90% of infections. That sounds like the Lysol claim about COVID and 99% of viruses COVID, right? Because COVID already existed, but this is allegedly a hybrid, right? Smash the share button, smash the like button because we are going places. And when I say that, we really are. So he continues and he says, ongoing research, no vaccine for the common cold, less than a year for a COVID vaccine. Thanks, but a hard pass on that shot. That's what he says. Hard pass on that shot. All right. Let's go right here. Here's another one right here. Here's another interesting one. All right. We're talking about building thought process and mentality, right? And remember, it's not what you know, it's what you can prove, but sometimes it's just what you know. 213-943-3358, to answer the question or chime in on on what's going on with this shot here. New agreement I've established in 2020. Repeat after me. I will no longer engage in any situation that requires me to diminish my character. I will no longer entertain conversations that require me to devalue logic. I am whole and I am keeping it that way. You see? We're moving. Smash the share button, smash the like button, smash the subscribe button on the YouTube channel that you're watching us on right now. Right now. Get ready because we're tying all this in. The vegan recipes, right? The vegan recipes and why you need to look towards moving into being a vegan, right? All right. Here's another one. You can eat the kale, right? Drink the alkaline water. Take the supplements. Do Pilates or hit the gym. But if you don't deal with the stuff going on in your heart and mind, you are still unhealthy.
And let me speak to that one a little bit.
Yeah. Let me pull. Go ahead.
That is absolutely true. And basically, what are those two things? It is walking in a radical love and forgiveness. Now, let me put a disclaimer on that. You can forgive. It's perfectly possible to forgive someone and still not be in their presence. You hear me? It's reconciliation is not a condition of forgiveness. All right. If a person is unhealthy for you to be around, if a person is they're antagonistic towards you or they tend to push your buttons, it would be healthier for them and for you guys to stay out of each other's presence. All right. Though you forgive them and though you may still love them, you may think of them and think of some times you had in times past. You may even smile just thinking of them or thinking of aspects of their personality. It may make you laugh or make you smile. And then you think of their character. You're like, I think not. I don't want to be. That was nice for that time, but I don't want to be. So you may still love them and you forgive them, but you do not want to reconcile to them. These both love and forgiveness are not feelings. Neither is a feeling. Though in our society, love is always, I love you because, oh, you make me feel like this. Oh, I love you because. Love doesn't have a reason. It just is. All right. And so it's reciprocated as because love is a choice. Forgiveness is a choice. Neither of those are feelings. They are choices. And they are choices that are made that are to your benefit. All right.
Feelings, nothing more than feelings. Right, let's keep moving here. Okay, let's go right here. I need to know what this is, Tanya, what this is called, because it's up there, and you posted this, right? If a person eats 10 to 12 bulbs, he or she won't need food for another 12 hours. This is a miraculous natural vegetable or fruit. Is it a fruit? Is it a vegetable? What is it? Is it a nut? What is it? We need to know. If a person eats 10 to 12 bulbs, he or she won't need food for another 12 hours. And what is this? What is this exactly?
That is called jackfruit. And I'm not quite sure because I have a person that I know that has this on his menu, and it looks like they cook it and possibly barbecue it and stuff like that. So I have no idea what the texture of that is, but it's an exotic fruit grown in tropical regions of the world. It's native to South India, and it is part of the Maracaea plant family. Which also includes the fig, the mulberry, and the breadfruit. So let me say something about that. Now, remember, we got to think about moving into vegan or vegetarian. Those are two different things, but we have to look to move into this. This is no longer a choice for you to do. I mean, you have the choice to do it or not, but really not. Because if you're going to be at your best health that you can be in, you're going to have to move in this direction. So now it's related to the fig family. What do we know about the fig? We know that Christ traveled a day's journey. A lot of times he would minister and it didn't say anything about him sitting down at a table and eating. He would be walking along and ministering for a couple of days, or a day's journey the Bible would read, or 3 days journey. And then he hungered, and he saw a fig tree off in the distance. So what it tells me is that the fig and fruit like that is packed with nutrients that can take you for a couple of days at a time. So it would stand to reason that this one in particular, if you can go 12 hours and not need any other food, if you ate that kind of stuff on a consistent basis, you would probably only be eating once a day, if that. So most of the time you be doing intermittent fasting all week long. And so these are the things that we need to look at. Like I'm going to check that out and see what that tastes like. It doesn't look very appetizing to me. I just don't like the way it looks, but I will try it. I will try it.
Actually, it looked kind of tasty to me. I'm looking at the bulbs, right? Right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, intermittent fasting does work. I mean, it gets your blood pressure and all that regulated. But again, we're not scientists, but we just tell you about things that we have experienced. Miss Ash says, hogwash, there is none. No, that's concerning the meme about the vaccine. Oh, excuse me. Not the vaccine, but the experimental agent. Smash the share button, smash the like button. She says, to answer the question about vegan, I was young, ate vegan spaghetti, going back to vegan as we speak. And then she says about the fruit that you have up there, Tanya. It looks like it is sweet. Now, here's something that's not necessarily sweet. And sometimes roses, well, most of the time roses smell like this. How well do you know your poop? That's what we're gonna call it. I'm gonna abbreviate that. How well do you know your poop? If you're down here and you are suffering from diarrhea, if you're suffering from that, something is wrong, right? Now, arguably, what they say is if it comes out looking like your intestines and it looks squiggly, but if you come out laying a log, then you've had some kind of backup, right? Because actually, ideally, it's supposed to come out like looking like squiggly lines. So this is a good thing, a good chart, because you have to know what's happening on the internal, what's happening on the inside by what you're eating. You will know by how your poop comes out if it actually agrees with you or doesn't. If your poop looks like your intestines, how the intestines are thin and they wrap around, then you go pretty regularly, then you are doing okay. Now, from the show yesterday, we got a consensus, right? We have a consensus concerning the experimental agent. And this is what the consensus is. We aren't taking your experimental agent. That's what the consensus was. From everyone that we spoke to, from pastors who wrote in, to everyday people that that wrote in, to our faithful that watch us every day. That was the consensus. We aren't taking your experimental agent. That's what we got from the show yesterday, right? So now, not to be undaunted or not to be derailed from what they plan to do, did you watch the reports? Maybe depending on what news you listen to or watch, you probably didn't see this, and this meme might go over our heads if we did not see this in the news. But anyone selling a fake experimental agent passport yet? Or am I a bit early? And of course, they have Leo DiCaprio from Django Unchained, right? Am I a bit early? It is the arrogance and just a little hubris on the part of people to automatically have a passport made up. Did you get your shot? If you don't get your shot, then they're saying that you might not be able to get on airplanes because they're trying to put this in full motion. Like, people can't say no. That you as representatives and senators over there in Washington work for the people, though the people have not actually raised up and said, you know, that tax money is actually our money because we pay taxes. So why are we arguing over $2,000? We each American should be getting $6,000. You know, while people are not, you know, really thinking that that is your tax money that you pay tax into, right? So anyone selling a fake experimental agent passport yet, you see? Or am I a bit early? You see, because if you watch the news, you'll see that they had a whole report and it looks like a passport, except for it says if you received the vaccine or not. I mean, what type of country is this that they're trying to do? And why is this happening under the party that is supposed to be about liberty? Oops, that's not the party that's about liberty and freedom and making... Oh man, oh wow, people gonna have that mad mountain lion face, like, yeah.
Where is that face? Do you still have that? You need to show that. That's the best picture I've seen to start out the year. You know, this is, I mean, that Leonardo DiCaprio caption is funny on every meme people use it on. It's just so sarcastic. But it's true. They're going to capitalize on that. And then, so, okay, again, let's think about this. So why do we need a passport anyway if travel is going to be restricted? Why do you need a passport? Why would you need a passport and travel is going to be restricted? You get what I'm saying? So they're already preempting you to say that you're going to be able to do the things that you would want to do. You're going to have to take this shot. You're going to have to take the mark of the beast. You're going to have to take it, you know, and you're not thinking about it. We cannot be ruled by fear. We cannot be ruled by fear. You have to put your thinking caps on. You got to go somewhere. You got to start your mornings in prayer. Start your morning going within and communing with God and getting your direction on a daily basis to confront this stuff from day to day. Because every day it's going to be something new. Every day. And you're going to be like a yo-yo going up and down, or you're going to be like this. You're going to be discombobulated and needing to go get on some fan app or something. Y'all look at our broadcast from last year. You're going to need some fan app or some other like kind of drug because you ziggity booed all the time. Either in fear, anxiety, or plain on out schizophrenia. you're going to have to move. You're going to have to ground yourself. And part of the diet, what we're talking about today, diet, supplements, all of that plays in. Spirituality, forgiveness, love, all of that grounds you. If you don't have that stuff together, you're going to be a pawn. I'm telling you.
Okay, so now we're getting ready to have the rubber hit the road as they starting to clip again. Listen, smash the share button, smash the like button. Make sure that you tag people in this broadcast wherever you're watching it at, right? And tag people in it so they can watch it, so that they will know the information that we are disseminating. Now, remember, yesterday we told you about conspiracy theory, where it came from, and where the term pseudoscience came from, right? If it works one time, why not do it again? Why not do it again and again and again and again and again? Because it worked on us, the sheeple, last time. So why wouldn't it work on us, the sheeple, again, right? So they automatically know, just a little hubris there, that and a lot of arrogance, that there will be a passport, there will be a experimental agent passport that said that you can take it so you can travel where you want to travel. Well, this seems like they're asking you for your papers. What was that? South Africa, and what else was that? Oh yeah, that was the paddy rollers. Began in South Carolina in 1710. You know, you would get picked up if you were a slave, if you didn't have your papers from your master saying that you were traveling from one plantation to another on master's behalf. If it worked before, then it will work again. It wouldn't just necessarily have to work on the people that were enslaved, but then the people who weren't enslaved, because everyone is so asleep. If it worked before, it will work again. Interesting. Let's keep moving. Okay, this is where the rubber hits the road, and I know there's going to be Clip Nation right now. Ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about Bell's palsy. And if you could bring the definition up. Oh, we're getting to Tasty Tuesdays. Vegan recipes. And why do you need vegan recipes and the certain vitamins that you need to have to build your immune system up? My sister has been constantly writing about this for the last couple of years. Didn't know exactly what was coming down the pike, but building your immune system up to even be able to combat. Do you remember Batman, when Jack Nicholson played the Joker, right? And the Joker had come up with a combination, had put something in the combination of the deodorant and the soap and the beauty products that caused people, once they put it on, to die. So in the end, the people who were the newscasters, in the end, they hadn't washed, they hadn't done anything, they hadn't shaved, they looked horrible. The women looked horrible, no makeup, hair all over the head, because they didn't know. Batman figured out the code and passed out the combination of products and the antidote to what the Joker had done, and life went back to nature. You have to be went back to what it was, went back to natural, right? You have to be able to build your immune system up to the point that you can even withstand what is in this, right? This is Bell's palsy, right? Smash the share button, smash the like button. Let people know we are on, right? We're going to show you both sides of this, because you know the PolitiFact has fact checked this, and of course you know what they came out with, but we're going to show you both sides of this, and then you can make your decision. We're not going to just show you one side, we're going to show you both sides. What is Bell's palsy? palsy?
Bell's palsy is a condition that causes a temporary weakness or paralysis of the muscles in the face. It can occur when the nerve that controls your facial muscles becomes inflamed, swollen, or compressed. The condition causes one side of your face to droop or become stiff. It may be a reaction to a viral infection. It rarely occurs more than once. And Bell's palsy is characterized by the muscle weakness, as we just stated. Bell's palsy usually resolves on its own within 6 months. Physical therapy can help prevent muscles from permanently contracting. And I actually know somebody who had that a few years back, and their face is back to normal now. But it's common with some kind of viral infection. And a sudden weakness. So all of a sudden, your one side of your face just droops.
And you have a cousin to the stroke. It's kind of a cousin to stroke, right? Now,
Right.
we're going to show you both sides because we're not just about talking one side of the discussion. We're going to talk about one. We're going to talk about both sides. We're going to look at it, and for those who are supposed to be in research, there's certain ways it's a syntax of the way people write. We talked about it in a previous episode, especially when the district attorney in Kentucky got up there and spoke, the Cameron guy, right? And we talked about the certain syntax. And you have to go back and watch those episodes to get that because, like we said, we always move forward. So now, this is Miss Mitchell. She claims to be a nurse, right, who took the experimental agent. Because, the first responders and the people on the front are the ones who are taking it, and the politicians are taking it now. Nothing is happening to none of the politicians, which makes us believe that most likely the politicians are taking a placebo, right? So let's listen to this woman, and then we're gonna go to PolitiFact and look at PolitiFact and see how PolitiFact tries to deny. So let's play this real quick and let's listen.
Hi, I am a registered nurse in Nashville, Tennessee, and my name is Kalila Mitchell. I'm reaching out to everyone about the COVID-19 vaccination. I recently took the COVID-19 vaccination. After the shot, I felt fine, but within 3 days, I went to the doctor because I had problems with my face. The whole left side of my face, actually. I have Bell palsy now. And as you can see, I can't smile. I'm trying to smile. It's kind of embarrassing for me. But I just want everyone to know that I think this vaccination is the worst thing ever. And I would not give this to anybody, even my worst enemy. Please, America, they do not care about us. Do not take this vaccination.
Let that sit for a minute. Now, Kalila Mitchell. First of all, we have to use, when they're coming at you and they're trying to make you think that someone is lying. Remember the woman in Detroit who Trump last year, I know a lot of you weren't watching Trump's briefings on the advancement on what they were doing with warp speed, which this is what we're seeing rolling out now. He was talking about hydrochloroquine, right? The media then said that Trump had stock in hydrochloroquine, and then they went out to smash it. The woman, she was a Michigan, not representative, but she was in the Michigan House of Representatives in Michigan. And she had shortness of breath, and she told her husband when she heard Trump saying that, go there, what do we have to lose? I've got shortness of breath and I'm gonna die. She said as soon as she took the hydrochloroquine, within 8 hours, the symptoms were gone. The media, she came out, they buried that story. They said that Trump had that, so Trump was just trying to push that to make money. They buried that story. Wow, this is crazy. Okay. So they buried that story, right? They buried that story. Hydrochloroquine actually worked. Now, the reason why I prefaced this story here with that, I saw you calling Kayla, but you called on the wrong phone. I'm on air right now. Listen, the reason why I preface this with that is, if it works once, it will work again. If it worked once, it will work again and again and again and again and again and again. Right? Kalila says that she is a registered nurse, and she took the experimental agent. Do you know that when you check the people where she's from, right, they claim that there is no person that they can find that is registered as a registered nurse under that name, right? My question to you, Tanya, is real quick, and we're going to keep moving. What does this woman have to gain to make a live video or whatever it was, Instagram, whatever it was? What does she have to gain to lie about getting Bell's palsy from taking a shot? Why would she automatically say that she was a nurse and she was not? What does she gain from lying?
She wouldn't gain a thing. And these are this is what we have to look at. Remember last year we talked about something called the Hegelian dialect, and how whatever, just like in this case, the hydrochloroquine, if it worked before, it will work again. So does lies. They work before and they'll work again too. And the Hegelian dialect is a use of propaganda through media, where you instill fear in the people to steer them into doing what you want them to do. Because if they had to come straight up and said they wanted you to take this agent, you would have said no, because you understand what all is in the agent, what all they're trying to do, and so on and so forth. But so you create something called a COVID-19. You create a COVID-19 that's going to require that people take that, and out of fear they'll go take that.
You got to say the virus, because they've copywritten that, right? They've copywritten that and the other term. So you have to say the virus, or they're going to be clipping.
That's interesting that they copyright a name of a disease. Okay, they copyright it, so it's money in it. You guys, listen, these are all pieces of a puzzle. You got to start putting it together. So they're copywriting names of diseases so you can't say them on public formats like this without getting harassed and clipped. So now it says that she's a registered nurse. That's the weight behind it, because usually those in the medical profession are more they're more amicable, or they're more agreeable to go along with the things that the CDC says, and different things like that. They're more agreeable because those things supposedly have been tested. But she said that she got Bell's palsy about 3 days after she took the shot. Now, over here it says Bell's palsy is commonly from a viral situation. So if you took, why wouldn't she have Bell's palsy before the agent was injected? Because Bell's palsy comes from a viral situation. So why wouldn't she have it? Well, you could say, well, she didn't have the virus. She didn't have the virus. But okay, so she got Bell's palsy after the injection. So that means the injection was the virus. Come on. We got to start thinking. We have to start thinking. Go and look, research. Now, this was easy research right here. He didn't even tell me to look up Bell's palsy. When he brought that article up, I instantly typed in Bell's palsy. I got information right there that was in front of me that said that it was more commonly associated with something viral. Now, she's taking something to prevent something viral. 3 days later, she gets Bell's palsy. So what she injected was the virus.
Okay. So look. Okay. So now we're going to show you the other side, because we are truly fair and balanced, right? But I'm going to show you how trick-atitions work in written word, and it's called phraseology. You can look this up. Phraseology, right? Very important. Trick-atitions, right? Now look, fact check. This is PolitiFact. Fact check. Did a Tennessee nurse develop Bell's palsy after getting the experimental agent shot? Did a Tennessee nurse develop Bell's palsy after getting that, right? Okay. All right. So, as we go through the story, they go through to discredit her. And this is on the internet, so you can go find this for yourself. But this is what it is, and we're going to try to read through this. It's kind of small, but I'm going to bring it up bigger for myself, right? All right. So first they say, we found one Facebook profile for someone named Kalila Mitchell in Nashville, and it said she works at a bakery at Ralph Lauren, right? We could not find any credible news reports of nurses developing Bell's palsy after receiving the vaccine. We could not find any credible. Okay, so stay with me now. This is PolitiFact. The person who is the PolitiFact dude, his name is Daniel Funke, Funke. Now, is his name Funk or is it Funke, Funky? Because either way, I don't know if I would trust, if it's Funky, I wouldn't know if I would trust someone with the name Daniel Funky. Just my observation on it, giving a PolitiFact check, right? Okay, so let's go to the next paragraph. Misinformation about the condition which afflicts about 40,000 Americans every year has swirled online since a virus vaccine from Pfizer and BioNTech was granted emergency use authorization on December 11th. Now, this is the paragraph that you have to pay very close attention to. Very close attention to. Listen. Smash the share button, smash the like button. Right? This is very important. Tag people in this because they have to read this. This is where the phraseology and the tactician, in my opinion, my observation of being a person who writes, this is where it is. Now listen now, he says, the confusion. Listen, the confusion stems from a briefing document published by the Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, before the experimental agent's emergency approval. The agency noted that 4 vaccinated participants in clinical trials for the experimental agent, representing 0.2% of the total group, developed Bell's palsy. So stay right there. Now, these last 2 paragraphs are it, right? So listen. The confusion stems from this briefing document where 0.02% developed Bell's palsy after the shot. Now listen to this. This is where the tricketition really comes in. They give it to you in the beginning. The confusion. You're confused. Everyday average American, black, or American, or global. You're just confused. Here's the next thing. The FDA recommended surveillance for cases of the condition as larger groups of people received the vaccine, but the agency said the frequency of Bell's palsy among clinical trial participants, listen to this, was consistent with the unexpected background rate in the general population, and that there is no clear basis upon which to include a casual relationship at this time. So, do you hear this? They tell you that 0.02% caught the Bell's, 4 participants got the Bell's palsy after taking it, right? And then they tell you that there is no clear basis upon which to conclude a casual relationship at this time. So in other words, they're telling you, even though these people contracted Bell's palsy, it's not what your lying eyes see. It's what we're telling you, that there is no casual relationship. The question that you have to ask yourself after you read this phraseology, this tricketition mastery of the English language is, do you want to be that 0.02%? Those 4 out of 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 that get the Bell's palsy after taking the experimental agent. You see this now, and they went to debunk her and say that she does not exist, just like they did with the woman in Detroit that was a representative in the Michigan House of Representatives, who they wiped her from out of the history altogether and said that did not exist, and that hydrochloroquine did not work as a therapeutic. Something Trump came up with, and we hate Trump, and that's the way it is. And so they wipe her out, and they wipe her as if she doesn't exist. If it worked before, it works again. Smash the share button, smash the like button. Then they tell you that the confusion came because the briefing came out that said that a minuscule 0.02% caught the Bell's palsy, or what afflicted with the Bell's palsy after taking the experimental agent. My question to you again, because if you're talking about vaccinating millions of people, 4 turns into 40, 40 turns into 400, 400 turns into 4,000, 4,000 turns into 40,000, 40,000 turns into 400,000, 400,000 turns up into 4 million. Let that sit for a minute. Do you see that 4 goes to, well, I'm not going to repeat that, but you get it. You get it. So if millions of people are being vaccinated, 4 goes to 4 million. Do you want to be, I see they see, they're not clipping us right now because we're just stating common sense and we show both sides, right? Now they're clipping now because I let them know that they weren't doing their job. They weren't on their job to clip us. Okay. What do you have to say to that, Tanya? For that 0.02%, when you start expanding it out into millions of people getting the experimental agent, it turns into 4 million. Do you want to be in that number when the Bell's palsy comes marching in?
Okay, a couple of things. 0.02%.
Okay, you are low again. Fix that low.
Okay.
Low.
What is going on here?
Okay, you are
How
nice
about
now.
now?
Nice now. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Number one, 0.02% in a mind that is small is a small number. 0.02% in a mind that's expanded is much larger. Case in point, in the presentation that Dee just made. Now, a couple of things. This article, the writing is in direct, it's relative to that title, right? The fact check, did a Tennessee nurse? That's the article from that title, right? Okay. All right.
That's correct.
If you would move that the article and just leave the title up there real quick. Because see, I'm one of those people, the most minute details jump out at me like a sore thumb. The way, so the coronavirus is a copyrighted title, right? A copyrighted illness, correct? Well, the spelling of that down there wouldn't even be the same thing. It wouldn't be the same thing. So what are you even talking about? You don't have, it wouldn't be the same thing. So there's some trickeration there. It wouldn't be the same thing. It's not, we can say, well, you know, he just misspelled it. And then no, the -19 is missing. 2 words are running together. That's not the same thing. All right, that's one thing. Number 2, if you're a fact checker, well, who is Daniel Funke? Daniel Funke is a German journalist. He's a German journalist, and since 2019, he is the head of the Berlin office for the German publishing house Hubert Burda Media, and is its chief lobbyist. From 2002 to 2009, Daniel Funke studied Germanistic and history of Humboldt University Berlin. And between 2004 and 2007, he also worked at the private TV channel Sat1 and magazine Blitz Flash. In 2007, he became the editor of the Yellow Press magazine Bunte. In 2012, the head of the Berlin office. He is, then it goes on, he's married to a German politician. since 2017. He caused controversy for a story in the Bounty about the then new U.S. Ambassador Richard Grinnell. At the time of publication, it was concealed that Funky Span couple were friends with Grinnell and his partner. So his credibility is shot. Okay, and so he comes on. So who's fact checking the fact checkers? Okay, because we're looking at his article and it's skewed in a certain direction depending on, so he would be part of the machine, the Hegelian dialect machine that would be in place to steer your mind and to steer your direction towards a certain thing. His credibility as a, he's only been mainly in circulation since 2012, well, no, 2002. And then what does he have to do with the United States and the things that's going on over here? And even in his country, his credibility is shot. So his article wouldn't mean anything to me. But these are the kinds of things that we have to hone in on. And so he says the confusion stems from a separate situation. Listen, this woman says she got Bell's palsy after getting the agent. All right. So that's completely separate from a study in clinical trials that were done somewhere else. You can tie them together just by way of the subject Bell's palsy, but actually they have nothing to do with each other. So when we talk about fact checking, we're going to have to check our own facts, okay? And it's pretty easy to do, like I did just right here. I did it twice. This is the second time I did it in about a half hour. We're going to have to check our own facts. All right. Now he's and then he could say, he can come back if it was a legal matter. He can come back and say, well, I wasn't even talking about that because he spelled the word wrong. So that is a loophole.
Oh yeah, because it should be capitalized. I've seen it, I've heard it, I've seen it spelled both ways, but it's supposed to be capitalized, and that's why that certain things are copywritten, because you can have it in a meme and they will knock that meme as if it never existed, right, on these various platforms, right? And so look, Tracey Trace on YouTube says, I have noticed many in the field of healthcare have spoke against the injection. They must have some horrific outcomes. I'm going to add this, that the media is not showing you. Now, people, smash the share button, smash the like button, because we're getting ready to go a little bit further. How can we, now I'm speaking to the American blacks that are watching or listening to the broadcast, right? How can we believe anything, even if they use black figureheads to push it on us? How can we believe anything that has been pushed to us to take something like this, an experimental agent, right? How can we believe in something when healthcare has been so horrific towards American blacks? Like, remember we talked about in the shows before about how after 1865 and the freeing of the slaves and everyone finally getting freed, after Lincoln gets his cap peeled, right? How the black body was devalued, because why would I pay you for something that I was getting you to do for free? Right? So it has always been a scheme, right? And it has been a sinister scheme, it would appear, just appearances, that it has been a sinister scheme to constantly get rid of you, Different people and different factions having the same mind. Different people coming over who are immigrants having the same mind. What does Martin Luther King talk about at the beginning? We always play Martin Luther King at the beginning. Martin Luther King is talking about something in 1967-68 that is still going on today. It worked before and it will work again. It worked before and it will work again. And so you're sitting up here and you're thinking about this vaccine, and you know that people have traditionally treated black people wrong. I have had experiences out here in the hospitals out here in Las Vegas. I often tell my wife, we shouldn't have to trade springing on time or in February. We shouldn't have to exchange that for in my opinion, poor healthcare system. And I remember when Franklin G, rest in heaven, when he passed on, his best friend since college, a woman, she asked me over the phone, she said, from what I saw when I came in and what they did to him, because he was talking before they talked about doing a surgery on his neck. He was talking. And then when he came out of surgery, he was not talking anymore. And he then gradually descended down. She said, from what I see in this healthcare system, because she comes from North Carolina, and she said, oh, they're clipping. Ooh-wee. They are clipping. They are clipping because we're coming to some uncomfortable truths. This is uncomfortable truth. Smash the share button, smash the like button. We're bringing uncomfortable truths. She said that what happens if something is really seriously wrong with you, this particular healthcare system here will be your end.
Yep.
And I have seen it. So listen, there was a doctor, say her name, Dr. Susan Moore. She was in Indianapolis. Now we know, where is Indianapolis? Look up Indianapolis. Where is Indianapolis at? It is a city in what state?
Indiana.
Say that one more time and fix your mic because your mic is low. Say it again.
It is in Indiana.
That's right. Indianapolis, Indiana, the home of the Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan. We got to put this together, right? We have to put the type of health care you receive together. Now, when Nevada was annexed by Mississippi in a trade, you can look that up. It then was called the Mississippi of the West. What is Mississippi? What is M-I, crooked letter, I, crooked letter, I, humpback, I, really known for during Jim Crow, being the most virulent form of racism? When people used to get together for the holidays, it was a man who would come over to the house, and he would tell stories about they had laugh barrels they were tobacco barrels where the white men would spit their tobacco in. And as you're walking down, first of all, you couldn't walk on the sidewalk, right? You couldn't walk on the sidewalk, right? The planks, you know how you show the old West shit, and you couldn't walk on the planks when they were walking. But if you had to laugh, this is Mississippi, M-I, crooked letter, I, crooked letter, I, humpback, I. If you had to laugh and you were You had to stick your head in that barrel where everyone spit their spitty, nasty tobacco and laugh, or you would be lynched. Mississippi is known as some of the most virulent racists. Watch Mississippi burning. They buried a car. Cheney, I forget the other names, but they buried the car. They tried to cover up Mississippi. Nevada is known as the Mississippi of the West. What chances do you have in having a great, if something really happens to you, really, and you don't, as one of my people, I'm going to leave nameless, but he did the right thing. I'm not denying it. He said that when he got in there, he yes ma'am, to get them to get him out of there. And he did the right thing because we are in the Mississippi of the West. Right? Now, tying this into Dr. Susan Moore, rest in peace. Indianapolis, Indiana, state home of the Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan. Indiana University Health North Hospital. This is what the woman said was happening to her in the hospital. Listen very closely.
This is the second worst day here at IU North. Yesterday, Dr. Bannock, Bannec, wanted to send me home. You know, at that time I'd only received 2 treatments of the remdesivir. He said, you don't need it. You're not even short of breath. I said, yes, I am.
I'm going to pause that right there because there is a misconception that black people can take more pain than Caucasians. This goes back to the plantation, right? Now remember where you are. You have to know where you are. If you were in Missouri, if you're in Indiana, if you're in Mississippi, if you're in Nevada, and depending on who moves, because remember, the police chief went down to, when the blacks started migrating out to California to take the factory jobs, right? The police chief went down into Mississippi and got ex-soldiers, Mississippians. And when you know where a lot of the Mississippians came from, you'll realize that America brought a lot of Nazis, 6,000 Nazis, 2,000 Nazi scientists and their families, 6,000. They permeated Alabama because they went over to the space, went over to NASA in Florida, so they permeated the South. When you see the German shepherds biting black people, this is after World War II, and you see German shepherds bite. Where did those German shepherds come from? Those people grew up and became the force. You're looking at Nazis. You got to put this together. It's very important. All you have to do is just check what I'm saying. Operation paperclip. Look that up. You're looking at Nazis that were brought from Mississippi, descendants of Nazis brought from Mississippi to work in the police to keep the they came up to California for a better opportunity. Oh, you need to know what's going on. You need to know what's really going on. So here she is, and they're trying to clip us, but we're going to keep on moving forward. This is smash the share button, smash the like button, tag people in this, because we are disseminating information that is very important that you have to understand. Nothing in the world works in a vacuum. The people in Tuskegee knew that. That's why they had the first inroads with China first. And their economy was booming when the white folks' economy was down. Thus, they found an excuse, a white woman, to come in and smash it in Tulsa, Oklahoma, Black Wall Street. And then, hey, they were able to take over that connection with China. Thus, the United States government, thus Biden. You have to put this, you have to be able to connect the dots through history, his story, and our story. So this woman in the hospital, she's doing this before she dies. You know, it's COVID. No one else could be there. She leaves behind a 19-year-old son. She is an accomplished doctor that knows how this is supposed to go, but they do not give her the service. And she tells you why. She says because she's black. No, she didn't get that. She didn't get the service because they were some racist old fags. It's not your fault. It's their fault. It's their fault that they're deficient. It's their fault that they're bringing in 500,000 Indians from India who look down on dark-skinned people and call them the untouchables, their own people, who are going to come here with that same mentality and go into the hospitals and treat you like an untouchable. It's their fault. It's their fault. So let's continue. It's never our fault. It's never our fault. Black people, they cut the jobs, they closed all the factories, they released. Reagan needed something to fight to fund the Contras. What did he do? He brought the cocaine in. It was turned to crack. People were selling crack. Not our fault. Their fault. Crack sellers were some of the greatest patriots for Ronald Reagan because the Congress, the House and the Senate wouldn't fund his war. The crack sellers were some of the greatest patriots for the United States. They should sue the United States for what Biden did. Yeah, I'm going over some of our heads with that, but you got to go back and watch our previous episodes because we move forward, right? But let's listen to this woman. You have to be able to connect the dots of his story and our story, which is really our story, and trying to get a hold on those that have been renegade, who were bleached out from the original of what the race originally looked like, because it's only one race, and it's really our story trying to get a handle on them to get them to correct. That's what the story really is. And until we realize that, learn that, ingest that, take that in, and then act as a collective whole across the globe to do just that, to rein in the 8% of the global population that has us in this situation. This will never change. We have to realize that, but we have to be able to connect the dots. So let's go on. Let's go on with her. This is a sad situation. This is an accomplished doctor. leaves a 19-year-old son behind to take care of her two parents who are suffering from dementia. She was helping them. Here we go.
Then he went on to say, you don't qualify. I must have, because I've gotten 2 treatments. Then he further stated, you should just go home right now. And I don't feel comfortable giving you any more narcotics. I was in so much pain from my neck. My neck hurt so bad. I was crushed. He made me feel like I was a drug addict. And he knew I was a physician. I don't take narcotics. I was hurting. So I spoke to patient advocate who left me wanting. There's not much I can do. So I started asking, send me to another hospital where they can treat me. And if they're not going to treat me here properly, send me to another hospital. Well, next thing I know, I'm getting a stat CT of my neck with and without contrast. The CT went down a little bit into my lungs, and you could see new pulmonary infiltrates, new lymphadenopathy all throughout my neck. And all of a sudden, yes, we'll treat your pain. You have to show proof that you have something wrong with you in order for you to get the medicine. I put forward and I maintain, if I was white, I wouldn't have to go through that. And that man never came back and apologized. This Dr. Banny guy. And then today now, supposed to be getting the narcotics, right? They came in 9 o'clock. I've been in pain since 7. And when they came in, very, very sympathetic. Yeah, we will get you pain medicine. I don't want to give you IV narcotics. How about PO? Fine. I just want my pain to end. So then he says, well, what pain medicine? I said, I don't know. I don't take them on a regular basis. I don't even write for them. All I know is that I'm in intense pain, and morphine worked. Okay, well, we'll give you Percocet. Okay? I don't know nothing about it. I don't think I've ever had it. It was another 2.5 hours before I got the pain medicine. The nurse came in. The first thing I said to that nurse was, why did I have to wait for so long? The nurse...
You see, you're looking at this. Your lying eyes are not lying to you. This is what we're up against. That's why when we were talking about and going through the paces and speaking about I've seen people, I'm not going to even go there. I'll say this. When we talked about what is coming, we said that the revolution would not be televised, but it would be happening in the hospitals. Did we not say that? And what is happening right now is happening in the hospitals. The revolution will not be televised, but the revolution will be happening in the hospitals. This woman is kicking the information. She knows exactly what she speaks of. She's kicking it in non-layman's terms. She's kicking it as a clinician, as a doctor, as a trained professional in the healthcare field. She knows what she's supposed to get, but she's in Indiana, baby. Home of the Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux right? This is what American black or black people anywhere need to realize. Miss Ash wrote, wow. This is what the American blacks have to realize. Just because the very person that hires you for a job can be still a car-holding Ku Klux Klan member, long as you're under me, long as you don't get over me.
Right.
Long as you're under me, you can go out for drinks, you can go out and party, you can have a good time, you can do all of that, but they can still be a card-holding Ku Klux Klan. They can be a card-holding skinhead. They can be a card-holding segregationist. Long as you don't live in my neighborhood, long as you're under me and never get over me, bigger than me. And it's hard for black people because usually black people we're genuine. If we like somebody, we genuinely like you. We're going to be reviewing this too. It was about the Nutcracker Suite put on by Debbie Allen that they call the chocolate. I forget exactly the title, but we're going to be reviewing it still. It's past Christmas, but we're going to review it on #TFR Podcast Live. She went and met with the woman who let her into the prestigious ballet school in France. She says that the woman, now she's genuine, she appreciated the woman letting her in. She thought that she had got in due to her ability. Now, you know, Debbie Allen is a bad watch your mouth on that floor. Mm-hmm. Instructing, dancing, everything, right? They told her she was too short and too, built in the right place to make it. But this woman let her in a prestigious school in France. And she said, she's sitting there with the woman. Now, the woman wanted to meet with her because Debbie Allen, of course, is successful, and the woman was getting ready to pass on. The woman wanted to let Debbie Allen know this. She said that you were just the perfect person you were just the person at the time that she didn't say anything about her ability. She said you were the perfect person at the time because we had to fill that quota. She told her that she was an affirmative action student. She just wanted to let Debbie Allen know that. She just wanted to and Debbie Allen said, she just looked at the camera like, she didn't say it in these words. I'm saying in these words after digesting it. She just wanted to let Debbie Allen know that she was affirmative action and that no matter what, you may be good, but the people we let in our school, we didn't let them in because of affirmative action, but we let you in because we had to fill that quota, and no matter how big you get, you will never be bigger than me. You got to wake up, people. You got to wake up. You are great because everything is taken from you and repackaged. So you are great. You are greater than. And not less than. You are greater than. But those who are holding on to power will want to make you feel you are less than. Oh, they're clipping us right now. They want to make you feel like you're less than and not greater than. This is very important. This is what you need to teach your children. You need to teach your grandchildren that the very people who you think that you're going out with drinks with, that you think you're cool with, you might even go to the house. As long as you're not bigger than me, we're cool. But if you get bigger than me, I'm going to have to find a way to put you in your place, Debbie Allen, before I check out of here to let you know that it wasn't your ability. It was just the quota we needed. Because they said we were biased. So you fit the bill at the moment. So let's continue. This is very important. This is what, because we are usually genuine. Matter of fact, we're more genuine sometimes towards, this hurts a little bit. We're a little bit more genuine towards Caucasians than we are to each other. And so when Caucasians hurt your feelings, you say, oh my God, I didn't believe it. I thought he was a good God-fearing. She was a good God-fearing. It was her heart and judging me by my character. And no, they were just filling a quota. And they're going to let you know that somehow. When you come to the hospital, they're going to let you know that somehow. That no matter what you think you know, I'm in control of your body now because you're nothing but a black body. This is what this is. This is what this is.
Let me share something real quick.
Go ahead.
For those of us who have had, pre-existing conditions and things like that, it's imperative that you take the bull by the horns, and no matter where you are, whether you're overweight, you're obese, you're whatever, there is nothing that's not overcomable. You're going to have to do your own research. You can, as you're incorporating supplements and stuff like that, you can go to WebMD. You can plug in the medication you're on one side and the supplement on the other side. It'll tell you the interactions between the two. It'll tell you, then you can go out to YouTube and see how to counteract the interaction and stuff like that. You're going to have to be investigative. You're going to have to be proactive in your care, because I'm going to tell you, I'm not, no matter what is going on, I'm not going back into a hospital. It's all on me now. And that's the way I look at it, because I'm going to tell you, I have, there's times where I've been in the hospital and I tell them, well, I'm going home on such and such a day. And they didn't want to release me. They're telling me, well, no, you got to get a release from the doctor before you go home. Well, no, they don't know me. I don't have to do nothing. Now, one time they came in, I had unplugged the tubes. I took all of that stuff out of my own arm. I took it all out because I said I was going home, and I meant that. But it's coming a time, because we don't know how deep this rabbit hole goes. We don't know how wicked this whole system. These are systems. These are things that have been put in place to hold you in a certain place, particularly us. And then you have the other classes of people that are not so important, like poor whites. All right? So when you fall in those categories, you don't know how deep the rabbit hole goes, what you have been traded off for. Are you traded off because your organs are going to be harvested? Are you being traded off for different things, right? And so you end up, especially if you have no one there with you, you end up, they can take and do anything to you, and nobody's there to prove and say the wiser. They're all together with it. Right? And so once that happens, they can do anything with you. And so it will behoove you to do your own research. It's just a little extra work of getting on a computer, looking at interactions, looking at how to wean yourself off stuff. Do some education. You're going to become a doctor. You get ready to become an MD for yourself. You better. Because there is no, you can't, I'm not saying that everybody that's in the medical profession is crooked or whatever, but because That is a system. That's a machine. Everybody that's in it has to fall in line if they want to have a job. So as much as they may like people and love people and want to help people, they still gonna make that 6 figures a year doing what it is that they got to do to keep the machine moving. So you're on your own, and you better take it seriously.
Better take it seriously. Miss Ash says absolutely correct. She also says Pill Finder, also the website Pill Finder, where you can put in and see what is equivalent to what. All right, people. So why should you? Because this is Tasty Tuesdays. Go and watch the rest of Dr. Susan Moore. She breaks down. She talks. She's on her deathbed. She didn't know that she was going to die, but she recorded it because she needed some record. Because she was in there all by herself. See, it's not many people can push in like my sister did when my father was in the hospital and push in and be there. You understand? So she was there by herself and she recorded, right? So why is it that you should start working towards vegan recipes and changing your diet and getting off of the meat and the poultry and later the fish if you're a pescatarian still? But why you should get off the meat? Because it carries the virus. It carries the virus. Right? You can just go research that. You can find that out for yourself. Just research. That's all we tell you. After what happened with the election, we really have no faith in that. Let me just let that sit there as people do that. As people do that. That mountain lion face. As they know they looking at other blacks as they voted someone they got duped. Or others
You should
just
have that
automatically
face
do
just
that.
plastered in the corner.
I think I am. I think I am. So this right here, this man right here said, I would rather us be like that than to be talking about this experimental age. So why have vegan recipes? Vegan recipes gets you closer to, first of all, you thin out, right? You thin out. I was once 310 pounds. When we first moved out to Vegas, I was at 257 coming from my run in retail for 15 years. I was changing my diet then, working behind and getting in solitude and working and editing and stuff. I put back on to about 289. But now I'm at 245. My fighting weight is 220. All right? This is going into vegan lifestyle. And you know, I'm going to be perfectly honest because you have to be perfectly honest. Sometimes that coronavirus, I'm going to say it, having chicken is good. But you do it in sparing and you move away from it. Like beef and pork, my wife and I have been off of that since the 90s. None of that, right? But it's the chicken, turkey, and of course the fish that you have, but we're working towards it. And as we work towards it, right, you got to get your diet. You got to get down to being able to eat one meal a day. How do you do that? Let me give you one of my recipes, and then you give one of your recipes, Tanya. My recipe, okay. I start out with green lentil noodles, right here. Green. See, they green, so they're changing in the right, but lentil, right. What I find is when I'm making my dish, I have a wok pan, and I have both eyes going, right, lit, right? And so what I find is the dry noodles and the frozen vegetables, because I do stir fry, I do I do green beans, etc. In all greens mostly, right? And you put it in there and you let it simmer for about 20 minutes. You can go off and do something, put some clothes in the washer or something. Watch a quick segment on TV, and you let it slow simmer with water. You put water in there with the noodles, right? And so that the noodles are covered and the vegetables automatically, because they're frozen, they're automatically going to melt the ice off of there. And when you come back in about 20 minutes, both the noodles and the vegetables have warmed up nicely, right? Then I usually add garlic to your taste. I usually sprinkle garlic like this, put that up, grab some turmeric, spread it in there, put that up, right? Then I stir that around to give it the taste, right? The extra taste. Then I'll bring something like creamy spinach Alfredo, right? This is the one I happen to have with us right now, and it's a green label, so it's turning black, right? But usually I'll leave that right there. Usually I have the Paul Newman, because it's only 3% sodium in the Paul Newman, right? You stir that around, and it sticks to your bones, and it stretches out in meals, right? So you can have it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then by Wednesday I'll put in something like a Beyond Meat meatball. Like those Beyond Meat meatballs, those are excellent. So you weigh out. So you look at like Beyond Meat is high in sodium. That's how they're preserving it, right? So you have to say what you use before has less sodium, because you do need sodium in your diet, so you have to space it out. So you put the meatballs in there, it introduces it and makes it a whole new dish that stretches out to Friday and Saturday, right? And then as you eat that, it sticks to your bones, or sticks to your ribs, as they used to say, about a hearty meal. And then you're able to have one meal a day, right? That works for me, And there's one extra ingredient to give it that sauciness, right? You have to get the grapeseed oil and use about a tablespoon and a half of grapeseed oil and spin it in there, and it gives it that nice sauciness that you want it to have. And that's one vegan meal that can last the whole week. And then you can add other pieces to it. Maybe you might get a pita bread to go along with it. Like you didn't eat bread on Monday and Tuesday, but you eat a flat pita bread on Wednesday, right? You're adding in the Beyond Meat to change it up, to make it a whole nother new dish. And then you keep moving forward like that, and you have those dishes, and then that week you go like that, and then as you go on, you're figuring out how to fast and have exactly one meal a day. Because I told people a long time ago, it would come a time where you would have to be almost transparent. And when I turned to the side, I was like, look at how thin I really am. Like, wow. So intermediate fasting and eating vegan works, right? And you have to build up. I'm sure when my sister gives her, because we have 14 minutes left, so you got 10 minutes. When she gives her, she'll talk about building up your immune system, but you have to build up your immune system. You have to get away from those animal products that hold the virus. And I'll leave it right there, and you pick up from there and give one of your devices. We stay on topic, but we had to get that out. That's very important, what's happening in the hospitals, what's going on with this, right, as they try to clip us. So go ahead.
Okay, so staying away from the animal products. So the difference, earlier I said there's a difference between vegetarian and vegan. Vegan is you have moved away from all animal products, including dairy, including eggs, cheeses, anything that has animal fat. That would include the peanut butter that's bought in the stores, things like that. Everything would have to be migrated off of that. Anything with animal fat in it. So my recipe is for lasagna, and it's eggplant lasagna, but it's not the way you would think it is. So in my recipe, the lasagna with the eggplant itself are the noodles for the lasagna. So you would buy 2 large eggplants, and you would slice those in circles all the way down to the last ones. You would spray some kind of grapeseed oil or something in your pan so it wouldn't stick. You need 2 pans to bake the eggplant. Now, this is the dish itself is a little expensive to make, but it'll last you a couple of days, and it's very, very, very good. You should treat yourself to it every once in a while. So you would have 2 pans, 2 baking sheets. You would slice each of those 2 eggplants into circles. You would spray the cooking spray so they wouldn't stick. You would put them in the oven, sprinkle them with a little bit, like a hint of cayenne pepper on both sides. Just a hint, because if it's too much, you're not going to be able to eat it. So just a hint of cayenne pepper on both sides. Put it in, let it brown. It takes about 15 minutes. You have to flip it over in between that 15 minutes so it can brown. So it's a lot of work. Once it's done, you pull it out, let it sit there. Now, your lasagna pan needs to be about at least 9 by 11, 9 by 12, and about 4 inches deep, something like about that deep, because you want to layer it so that it's really, really packed full. So you will begin your layering by laying 1 coat of the eggplant down on the bottom realm of the layering. Now, for your meat, you're going to use Beyond Meat, Veggie Crumbles. There are other brands, but Beyond Meat so far, and I thank Dee and Tracey for introducing me to that brand, because that brand is off the hook. It's really good. So it really is. You have to do very little seasoning to it. If you want to season the meat, you season it to taste with garlic powder, everything other than salt, because it's plenty salty. So for you high blood pressure people, you can't eat this a lot because there's a lot of the meat in it. All right. So I use Splenda because I like to put a little sweetness in my meat. That's my secret. That I did that when I used to make regular spaghetti too. I used to put sugar in the meat. So unhealthy. But I use Splenda now, and I put that in the meat. So you make your meat and you make your sauce mixture. You can either mix the meat and the sauce together, or you can choose to leave them separately and layer them a spoon of sauce at a time over the meat. So you layer the eggplant, then you put a layer of meat. You use either frozen peppers, the 3-pepper blend, frozen peppers and onions. That makes life easier. So you can either saute them beforehand and drain them out, which I would recommend, else it's going to take too long for it to bake. So make sure they're already thawed and already kind of drained with the paper towel. So you put the layer of onions and peppers on after the meat, and the meat sauce mixture. Then you put a layer of Daiya, Daiya cheese. That can be bought at Whole Foods. It tastes just like cheese, and it's the only brand that melts like cheese and doesn't look like plastic and doesn't have that filmy taste to it. It melts very nice in the dish. Now, because we are doing vegan, you would have to find some other substitute for ricotta cheese. The ricotta cheese actually makes the lasagna. I used ricotta cheese because I didn't know of any substitute for that at the time, but I'll be looking for it. So after the Daiya cheese, you want to put the substitute ricotta cheese. Then here's another layer of the eggplant, and you do the same layering over and over again. And across the top, Your last layer is going to be your eggplant, and the cheese is going to be your top layer. You put that in the oven. It's going to bake for about 45 minutes to an hour because everything is going to mix together. When you take it out, you're going to have to let it cool, else it's going to tear up on you. So you have to let it cool for about 30 minutes. 30 to 40 minutes. And when you go to stick that spatula in there or that knife in there to do the cutting, and you start pulling that apart and you eat that, it is the most dynamic tasting, and you will have no problem loving it. It doesn't matter that it's not real meat. It doesn't matter that it's not real cheese. It is delicious. It is delicious. It's something you would pay for at a restaurant. It's delicious. So that's one of my recipes, which I think I'll be doing sometime soon. I haven't had it in a while. But that's one of my recipes. And as Dee was saying earlier, we have to, while we're incorporating all of this diet changing and all of that, we want to stay away from soda. Soda is straight sugar. It's 30 teaspoons of sugar to 1 can of Pepsi. 30 teaspoons of sugar. While, by the way, at the fast food restaurants, you can add sugar to your soda now as a part of the order. I'm still trying to get over that one. So pop, get rid of pop, even diet pop. Go to your flavored waters. If you can't just drink regular water, the distilled or the spring water, go to your flavored waters, the Perrier's, stuff like that are carbonated. I like carbonated, and I can do carbonated without sugar. If you can't do it without sugar, add some stevia. Add some stevia to it for the sweetness. Stevia is all natural. It is not a derivative of sugar. You can add a half a pack of stevia to 1 can of the sparkling water, and you'll get a soda-like beverage. Okay, we want to cut out all things that are processed. All right. And we want to go online and do our comparisons and start weaning ourselves off medication within your doctor's care. I'll just say this. You do what you will feel comfortable with. We are not medical professionals, and so we do not claim to give you medical advice. We're sharing with you our experiences. And so you do what you feel in your spirit is working for you, and you balance things out. Okay. And we have to do this because the whole goal is to have your mind at 100% and have your body at 100%. Don't be discouraged if you're overweight and obese. It's going to take some willpower now. And for those of you particularly who are religious, your God, whoever that may be, should be empowering you to be able to, you have power over all things just as an individual. All right. So it's a matter of discipline. We got to cut out the fried foods and all of that. So that's it for now. We'll have Tasty Tuesday again next week, but that's it for now.
Yeah, that's good. That is good. Listen, Miss Ash says, Tanya, could you guys please place those recipes in the health, wealth, and self page? Thank you. Write that down. We'll type that up. All right, people. So this has been another robust episode of hashtag observations TFR on hashtag you found the spot. If you enjoyed what you heard today, make sure you go right down here to $ you found the spot and drop a few dollars on that, and we will thank you over the air. We appreciate you. We appreciate all people who donate to the cause. Of course, you see that Tanya has on her The Spot t-shirt. That's right, stand up. That's right, she's got the black on. Hopefully tomorrow we'll see the green. Right? What else you got over there real quick before we go so that people can see? All right?
We have our quality masks. since we are in this ridiculous time that we're in, we serve to accommodate you. Here's the matching mask. And this is quality stitching here. You can see the stitching quality. And we also have, now this one is my personal favorite. I like this green mask.
That's right. That's the mask that you can't usually see because I'm on green screen. But there it is. It has the spot, right? It is available now. We'll talk about that more tomorrow. But we wanted to let you know. Show them your beer stein. Show them your beer stein.
Now this right here. This right here.
Right.
This is frosted. It's a frosted beer mug or cold beverages. I do not drink beer. It's full of yeast and does not contribute to my weight loss cause. So I do not drink beer. Okay. So this will be for my cold beverages. Look at that, the spot. And then we have, of course, I showed you my t-shirt, and this is my t-shirt too, but this is the green t-shirt, right? So you can style and profile with the mask.
Spring green, that's right, when life reemerges, right? So people, this has been another great, robust episode of #Observations TFR. We appreciate coming to you every day. Those are the stickers. We have the stickers available also. We come on Monday through Friday, 9:30 a.m. Pacific, 12:30 p.m. Eastern. It's #Observations TFR podcast. TFR, Observations TFR on #You Found the Spot. The Spot podcast on Google Podcasts on the replay. Also on YouTube, or just Google #You Found the Spot, and everything comes up and you can see how it's building out. And people, you have been watching #Observations TFR on #You Found the Spot podcast, and we will see you again tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. Pacific, 12:30 p.m. Eastern. Yeah.
Here's the thing about your movie, why I made the curator's pick of the Hollywood Fringe Festival. Community, heart, Tracey.